So on BBC Two now, Going to Work focuses on hairdressing.
Being known by name is the ambition of every hairdresser. But the road to being a top stylist involves years of training and experience. Although anyone can call themselves a hairdresser, there are proper training schemes for apprentices. And it's not just a job for girls, there are many boys. Andrew is in his first year. When did he decide about it?
And I was in the careers office and I saw a poster on the wall which said to be a hairdresser you need art, you've got to get on with people, you mustn't be allergic to chemicals and a few other things. So I thought I'd try the hairdressing. You've got to do all the dirty work as such, you know, sweep up, shampoo, you've got to take all the orders. But I think it is part of the training and it's like a discipline really. I mean, they say the apprentices which stick out all the dirty work make good hairdressers.
Shampooing is the closest Andrew gets to real hairdressing at this stage, but he does stay late one night each week to practice cutting on volunteers. It's called model night.
If I wasn't doing model night, I would probably be wasting my time anyway. I mean, if it's someone who hasn't got that time, then I suppose it'd be different, but I don't mind. I'm learning something. If I miss a model night, then I'm not learning anything. You wouldn't believe shampooing is a very important part of hairdressing, because it puts the clients in a relaxed frame of mind.
Do Andrew's mates think that this is a rather soft job for a boy?
A lot of them did, but if you look at it, most of the top hairdressers are men. You know, most of the famous hairdressers, they are men. I mean, my friends know me and they know that I'm not soft.
One day each week, Andrew goes to his local college in Harrow. He's doing a City and Guilds course.
Today we're going to do an elevated cut. And all we're going to think of is the shape of the head, right? And we're going to take our sections.
At the college, Andrew gets a thorough training in the practical skills of hairdressing. But since he also gets this back at work, is the college training useful?
We get like the theory, like things that a lot of the stylists don't tell us. Maybe they just haven't got the time to tell us. Maybe they just don't think about it because they haven't really been trained to teach. You know, whereas the teacher has been trained to teach. So it's good at college because you do learn the theory, you learn a lot of important things.
Take your section down the centre. And here again we start to lift up very slightly until we see our line, right? But the angle is different. So in other words, if we refer to the board, all right, so you can see the angle that actually the hair will be cut at, can't you? As compared, in other words, if we pull this out.
Andrew will learn all the techniques of cutting and then practice them on artificial hair. Using scissors and combs like this requires nimble fingers.
Please first, and then if you'd like to take the section at the back, then we can start the cut. Yeah, you've got to scratch it out. Make sure you pull all the way from the roots now. Take a straight section. That's fine. Keep it well pulled now, you see, first of all. The base section holds straight down.
As well as the practical skills of hairdressing, Andrew does other subjects such as science.
This is the hair colourist circle,
This session is about the results of mixing coloured dyes. Is science like this all that useful to a hairdresser?
You've got to know the science, because you've got to know about not just the person's hair, but what's inside their hair, what's inside their head. You know, when you're putting on a tint, you've got to know what you're really doing chemically.
This circle is used by artists in order to predict what's going to happen when you mix colours of various sorts. You take your wool and the appropriate colour, remember you dip into the dye, the white end first, and then you overlap them on half the ready dyed lengths. So we see the two colours we've actually mixed, and in the middle we see the product colour.
All the work done at the college is useful in the job, and you get a chance to see the way things are done away from the pressures of a working salon. At a salon, life is always busy, and as an apprentice you might have to do odd jobs like looking after reception. Liana is a second-year apprentice at her father's salon.
Because she cancelled her appointment. She was supposed to be in at 2:30, but she cancelled it. She's coming up at 2:15.
Yes, all right, Liana, but you've got another...
Did Liana's father expect her to follow in his footsteps?
He always wanted me to do something else, but then when he found out that I wanted to do hairdressing, he used to make me, well, he asked me to go in on during the holidays to you know, get an idea of what it's like to work a full week, not just Saturdays, because you can't really get an idea just by Saturdays. They wanted me to really be sure before I, you know, made any sort of definite arrangement about it. Can you make the appointment?
Answer the phone, please.
Jack's of rice slip. Can I help you, please? Yes, what shampoo and soap?
Does Liana get special treatment from her father?
No, because always having worked there on Saturdays and everything, they got to know me more as me and not as the boss's daughter. When a new girl starts at the shop, I don't even like telling her that I'm the boss's daughter for the first couple of days, even though she always finds out. I feel that if she knows that from the beginning, she might look at me in a different way.
At college, Liana continues with her day release course. How useful, though, is a subject like art?
Hairdressing is something you've got to, well, it's best to have some sort of artistic flair in it, and it helps you to sort of bring yourself out, put it that way. You can, you know, put it down on paper, whereas otherwise you just think of it in your head, you can't do it. But once you've got a pen and paper there, you can try and put down what you've got in your mind, even if it's not always the right thing. But
and if you get let's just have a look at your pencil. It's not too bad. I think you want to come out a little bit further here with this movement of the hair, and if this is coming round in a wave, so that you've got that front movement coming a bit further out, but you've also got that going behind it, so that you've got the impression of the hair going.
In the second year of her apprenticeship, Liana is still learning the practical side, and she's now doing jobs like tinting. The customers are volunteers.
Right, Liana, have you discussed client requirements?
yes, it's a tint. Looks at the roots. I think it's been about
Is it a permanent tint or semi-permanent?
permanent
Yes, how can you tell that?
because of the regrowth.
All right, how long is it since the client last had the colour?
Say 4 or 5 weeks.
Yes. What sort of colour? How would you describe it? Is it a brown? Is it a blonde?
It's a warm brown.
Warm brown. Yes.
Jobs like tinting, setting and perming involve chemicals, and the college explains the dangers.
It's strong, it's thick hair. If you're at work, you, like I say, you don't really know what's going on to the hair. Why, say if you have a perm, you don't know why it goes curly. But here, you learn and you can see what happens if you, say, leave the perm lotion on too long. You can see what happens. No, it depends. Sometimes it's more resistant. You can see the roots at the back.
So, you're going to start around this area here, and then where?
Straight down, take a parting down the middle,
Yes.
and then take 2 partings to the
That's right,
middle
like a
of
hop
the
knot.
head. Yeah,
And then you're going to work up one side,
yeah, then up the other.
up the side. Right. Right, so what colour did we decide on, Liana?
Well, that one's something in the region of,
Yes. So it gives a depth of a 5 in a honey gold.
yeah.
Excellent choice.
They're all taught properly,
Yeah.
so you know you're getting the best service. No, I think it's word of mouth, you know, they get to know. More or less my natural colour originally.
And I just come 1 day a week.
Oh, your day release?
Yeah, but I'm in my second year now and I'm finishing in May.
Yes, if the weather's not so
So
good.
yeah.
Yes, but it certainly keeps the grey away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd look like if I didn't have it tinted.
Right, do you think that's ready?
Yes.
Right. Use a special shampoo for removing tint.
Take Lady Emma.
You would.
Liana is now doing more and she finds it very satisfying.
You know, if a client comes in and let's face it, she puts herself in your hands, and you try to please her as well, so she's usually happy with the result, and you're happy with what you've done. You feel as though you've achieved something. You can look at her and think, oh, well, she's better than when she came in, you know. She looks a lot better.
Lovely, just what I wanted.
Liana's father's salon is very busy and gets quite crowded. Do the staff get on each other's nerves sometimes?
You know, you're so busy most of the time that you don't really see that much of each other. You're not really all together in the staff room at the same time. It's the sort of job that you might see each other to say good morning, first thing in the morning. You might not see each other till about 10:30 again, not to actually talk to. Now, which way is the set? And it's the sort of largest rollers. They feel as though they're safe in your hands if you look smart, and you've always got to be clean and tidy and your hair's nice, and they feel more willing to relax while you're doing their hair. But if they come in and you just got out of bed, they don't want to come and pay money for you to do their hair when you look so scruffy.
Doing an apprenticeship is not the only way to become a hairdresser. Some colleges run full-time courses in hairdressing. Tracy's in her first year. Why did she decide to do this rather than get an apprenticeship?
I think mainly because I've seen my friends go through an apprenticeship, and for the first year they are mainly just a dog's body. They do the same as they do on a Saturday. They do shampooing, they make tea, they sweep up. They don't get a chance to get in and have a go. So I thought, well, and when I said to my friend that I was going to do a course at college, she said you don't get the practical side of it and so on. But I thought, well, I was willing to make that chance.
And then blend it in again.
The course includes many other activities besides hairdressing, and so could lead to careers in makeup and beauty work. For a few exceptional people, it could lead to jobs in television, film and theatre.
Your lips are fairly large. You've got a hair there.
The course lasts for 2 years, and at some colleges you'll need qualifications to get in. You'll also need to make some sacrifices, because you have to buy your own equipment.
It works out very expensive. We have to buy everything down to the last piece of paper. We have to buy rollers, pins, etc. Also books, overalls. Education is free up to the age of 18, which means I'll be okay for 2 years as I'm only 16 now. So far I've been here 10 weeks and it has worked out roughly to about £200, which really isn't bad considering it is going to be for 2 years, as long as I look after it.
Hold your head up so you don't breathe on it. That's better. Good.
And make sure you press it up and keep it tight there. That's it, fine.
Some of the activities, like wig making, require great patience, and not everybody likes it, as Tracy found out.
I think wig making is a subject that you either like or you dislike. There is no in between, there's no happy medium. At the moment it seems to be a bit dragged out, I suppose. But now we're going on to making pin curls and little top knots, and it's a bit more enjoyable.
For the people who enjoy detailed, highly skilled work, jobs like wig making could provide an enjoyable and well-paid career.
I'd like to get the scissors on. You have to dampen that down.
The full-time course also includes men's hairdressing. As unisex salons develop, full-time course also includes men's hairdressing. As unisex salons develop, people who can do both men's and ladies' hairdressing will find many good opportunities for work.
How are you doing, Tracy? Yes, you're keeping those sections coming out. That's right.
Not
make sure.
very much of one,
No, but make sure you comb from the roots right the way out, at right angles. Right? Pull that way out. That's right.
Tracy gets the same detailed help with men's styling as she did with women's. In fact, she likes it a lot.
I prefer men's hairdressing. I don't particularly like doing ladies. The fact that men are fussier than women. I think the women just say to you, well, I want it done like this. They give you a piece of paper with a photo on it. I mean, they don't go into the details of the shape of the face or anything. But men, they're really funny. They say, no, not this bit's all right. And it's more enjoyable because you can have a better conversation with a male than you can with a female.
Whether you do your training as an apprentice in a salon or on the full-time course, at the end of it you'll be a fully fledged stylist. It might be in a high street salon like this, or in a department store, or in a little shop away from the town centre. Wherever you work, your view of the job will be influenced by having to do it day after day. Like Jill, is it what she expected?
Yes, I thought it would be hard work. It's quite strenuous, you know, you have to sort of be thinking of so many things at once, especially at weekends, you know, when you're very busy. But yes, I think it's everything I thought it would be. I think the college training, you know, it helps you to think sort of ahead of what it's going to be like. It's quite tiring. You have to be, I think you have to be fairly fit to do this sort of work. And of course, it's weekends, working at weekends as well, where you miss out perhaps on things at weekends, and perhaps you get a day off during the week where it's sort of fairly quiet.
I'm starving, actually.
You can't just suddenly stop at 12 o'clock and take lunch for an hour. You know, you just have to usually fit it in where you can, really. Used to get a Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes you're dealing with perhaps 4, maybe 5 clients at once, you know. You've got to be sort of everywhere at once, really, and thinking about 4 things at once, you know. You want to get cut quite short, yes?
Yes, please, just, you know, something natural, but if you've got style, you do it.
Okay. Going out somewhere special tonight. They look for advice, I would say, yes. We have fashion books that we can show them, sort of, you know, give them a general idea of what, you know, what we mean. We can convince them that what we think is, you know, is best. It's fine, isn't it, your hair? Perhaps once it's dried, it'll look quite much thicker.
If you can do anything to make it thicker, it would be lovely. Add a few bits in.
The art classes Jill did at college help her see what the hairstyle will look like before she starts.
You sort of build up pictures in your mind first. You see the finished article before you actually start, really. The problem is perhaps sometimes explaining this to the client of, you know, actually what it will look like in the end. Not really taking the length too short, it's just the layers really that need to be a bit shorter to get it to curl a bit better. You've been here before to have your hair cut?
No, we've left my little boy with my mother, so she lives locally, so she...
Do you have it cut often, or...? I think you have to be sympathetic and always ready to listen and be easy to talk to and listen to people's problems. So I think people do tend to perhaps pour out their troubles to the hairdresser because you come here to relax and perhaps pour your problems out to them.
This job should appeal to you if you're fit, if you get on well with people, like working with your hands, and like creating things. Whatever your ambition, this job provides many opportunities.
I think if you're ambitious enough, a lot of people they're content to just be a stylist, but I'm just not. I want to make money. Maybe it's not as glamorous as I'm making out, but I'd like to think it is.
I really wanted to go into the airport and their hotels. And another thing that came into my mind, which is very hard to get into, which you have a chance in a million, is trying to get on the cruise liners.
Well, I want to stay with my dad. I want to stay where I am now. I wouldn't even consider sort of changing my job for at least another 5 years. I want to get a lot of practice. There we are, finished.
That's very nice.
It's a satisfying job. You feel at the end of the day, you usually feel as if, you know, you've done something worthwhile, really.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much indeed.